Bryan Mbeumo to Manchester United. He has decided to join Ruben Amorim. He has decided to join the Red Devils and come and play his football at Manchester United at Old Trafford next season. Big reports from David Ornstein, Ben Jacobs, and Fabrizio Romano, all confirming the news that he has turned down Arsenal. He has turned down Newcastle. He has turned down Nottingham Forest. He has turned down Tottenham Hotspur. And he wants to play for Manchester United. Get that like button smashed right now, my people. Make sure you are subscribing to the Football Terrace. Big up to everybody that's tuning in, whether you're watching from TFT normally, if you've come across from the United stand. Great to have you here on the show. And yes, it is my third stream in a row, but we have to talk about this. We have to react to it. We're going to take your calls on the show as well. We're going to put the link in now, actually. Let me put that in the live chat right now. Call in now. I want to hear from you all. I want to know what you're thinking. I want to know what your opinions are on this. I'm going to get this shared in my group chats as well, because this is massive news. This is huge news. Gargantuan news. Yeah, man, that's great news over there. Welcome, everybody. I'm buzzing. I can't even lie to you, people. I'm absolutely buzzing right now. Just been on the United stand. Absolutely made up. Absolutely made up with this news, with this story. For everyone who doesn't know, this is, just tuning in now. Bryan Mbeumo has decided he wants to join Manchester United. United will now open talks with Brentford to get this deal done. It's rumored to cost around 50 million. That isn't a buyout clause. It's just what Brentford would ask for. United will, of course, spread that over a 5-year period, most likely, meaning year one, this deal is actually only going to cost us somewhere in the region of about 10 million pounds, which really does help us when it comes to spreading these costs. But overall, blown away that Man United have done this. It was only an hour or so ago. I was live on the Football Terrace, and all of our rivals said Newcastle were getting him. Wolfie, Tom Little, they all just said little to no chance, and bang, it's done. So look, there's a long way to go, and I'm said this before, and I'll say it again. We've got to keep our feet very firmly on the ground. We've got to remain humble. We have to ensure that we're not getting overly carried away, because there's still a lot for this club to do. There's a lot of improvements that are needed. There's a lot of work for us to do to get ourselves back to the level that we want to be, back to the standard that we want to be. We can't get away from that. So many more new players are needed. It's still going to take 2 or 3 years to make us a consistent and top performing team. I'm not going to yield from that train of thought. But in isolation from that, what Man United fans are allowed to do, what Manchester United fans should do, is look at this situation and say, Cunha, one of the best attacking midfield players in the league for the past 2 seasons, secured him. Mbeumo, don't let anyone lie to you now. Don't let anybody gaslight you now. All there has been for this man, from Arsenal, Tottenham, City, Chelsea, Newcastle, Timbuktu FC, Baller FC, Stat Merchant FC, Standard FC, every single one of them has praised this man for 2, 3, 4 years. Man United just went and signed him. We should be proud of that. The speed of the work completed by Ineos on these deals deserves praise. The speed of execution deserves praise. Only one player has been signed as early as this in the last 12 years at Man United. That was Memphis. We have never done 2 in this way. And the window's only officially been open a day, and it's that 10-day window. I know this one isn't over the line, but it's there or thereabouts. They fit the system, which is fundamentally important. They have the athleticism that we lack massively. And on top of that, they buy into Ruben Amorim's ideas, and we're buying the best of what's available, the best of what's attainable in the Premier League. And we haven't done this on a regular enough basis for 12 years. We've abandoned a practice that was famed by Sir Alex Ferguson. Let's get Andy Cole. Let's get Cantona. Let's get Paul Ince. Let's get Roy Keane. Let's get Teddy Sheringham. Let's get Dwight York. Let's get Michael Carrick. Van Persie. And the list goes on and on. Love this move. Love the speed of execution. Always rated this player. And the age profile is perfect as well. We need players of an age group that they've got a future, but they're not babies. They have experience, but they want more. The only other element now left is how it works in reality, how we look as a team, and we still need more than what we've bought. This isn't enough. This isn't United now squad complete, but it's an excellent start. And I've been critical with the rest of the Man United fans when Ineos needed to be criticised. But I've also been patient when I felt that we needed it. Terrible first year with no trophies and where we finished. I saw things I liked, but it didn't yield the return we wanted. Massive summer ahead. We need to get it right. I think so far on paper, and all we can judge it on at this stage is paper, it's been a phenomenal start to rectifying last season's mistakes. Striker needed, central midfield needed. Does Bruno now leave? We're going to be talking all of that now. We're going to be taking your calls. If you want to phone in, the link is pinned to our live comment section. I'm also going to put a little poll in there as well right now, because I want to make sure you guys are liking. Have you liked the stream? If you haven't liked the stream yet, get that done, please, people. I've got cap lock. I hate when I start typing, but I've got cap locks on. Does mine nothing? Hang on one sec, peeps. Have you liked? Yes, I always do. That is now. Let's hit. We can hit 1,000 likes, people. We should be able to get 1,000 likes easy. So make sure you're getting that like button hit as well. I'm also going to share the link into some of the group chats that have a lot of our members and stuff from the Football Terrace. But I see Paul. I see Ian. I see Baz backstage. I see Adele. We're going to be getting you, man, on very, very soon to have your say. I'm just going to share the link in with, see if I can get some rivals on as well, eh? I bet they don't show up. I wonder how many of the rivals show up and have anything to say today. I bet it ain't many. And KJ, if you're watching, get those clips out of everybody saying no one's going to join us. Get the clips out, baby. Get the clips. I need to put into my member chat as well. Big up to all my members that are tuning in. If you're in the membership, if you're one of our legend members, you can upgrade to that or subscribe to it. You go into our group chat that I'm part of as well. So we just shared it in there with everybody as well. Let's go to some of your super chats that have come through. Constantine here, big up yourself, says we need players who want to play for Manchester United. Those players you mentioned would run through a brick wall for the club. Our players give fans the finger because they insulted their mum. Look, I agree with giving someone the finger if they insult your mum. I don't think there's any place for that in the game. I'm looking more at the way the players behave on that football pitch week in, week out. It hasn't been good enough. It has been nowhere near the standard whatsoever. And yeah, there we go. By the way, this guy called Marco Alcaraz, who's a journalist that's I don't know. He literally tweeted for everybody a good few hours ago that the deal was going to happen. He ended up getting that spot on, you know. He got that deal absolutely, spot on. That's crazy. Well done, you. Let's put some more of these comments up here. Do you think I but will stay? I don't know what you mean by that, Alan. I don't know what you mean. I don't know what you mean, mate. Risic here says, Terry, Alvaro would have filtered 3-4-3 system well, and I will bought Dewey from PSG as he links up the play and ball close to the tops. Bryan Mbeumo we are waiting. Yeah, I'd have loved looking at Doué this year. I'd have loved him. I'd have loved João Neves as well. We really should have gone for those guys. There's no doubt. There's no doubt about it. We should have done it. True Blue here says, "Hope you're well, Tel. I personally think that United should go in for Nkunku. I think he will fit your system alongside Cunha. Smash the like button, people." Listen, with all due respect, no, I'm very happy with Cunha and Bryan Mbeumo. But good luck to Christopher Nkunku and all his endeavors. Good luck to him. I really, really mean that. Big up yourself, Mr. Greg G. I appreciate you tuning in. Breaking news on Bruno, is there? Oh, Sasha Tavernier. Bruno Fernandes family are not convinced about the Saudi move. The lack of commitment from Fernandes is slowing the deal down. That is from Sasha Tavernier. Remember, Mark Goldbridge messaged me during my show on the United Stand and said that deal wouldn't be happening, or he didn't think it was going to happen. Actually, he didn't say it wouldn't happen. He didn't think it would happen. So, yeah, that's certainly an interesting one indeed. That is certainly an interesting one indeed. Let's get some of your live comments up on the screen there as well, so you can see them coming through. Personally, this is from Mike Stewart, who's a Chelsea fan. He says, personally, where's that gone? He says, personally, I hope United get these players. Teams like United don't deserve to be where they are. I appreciate that. Cedric here says, kudos to the transfer team at the start of their first summer transfer window. Well, yeah, starting together for the first time with the manager, with the plan in place. It was so important. They had to start this way. And as much as I'm someone that has sort of defended them when other people haven't, when I say defended, I've just said, look, let's be patient. I also said they had to deliver. So far, so good, but a long, long way to go. This here from Kieran, who's also a Chelsea fan, somebody long-term viewer of the Football Terrace, says, great signing considering you're not in the Champions League. Well done. I agree with that. I really do. How about we keep Rasmus and sign Mitrovic as well? Well, the news is from Fabrizio that Rasmus has got great attention from Inter Milan. I would love for that to happen. I'd love for him to go off and be happy at Inter Milan and for his dreams to come true and for him to be a, Milan player fighting for the title over there. Nice little 50 million in our back pocket. We'd probably break even and we could go on, all of us, to pastures new. It'd be amazing. Terry, I would still be happy with how Ineos are working on positive signings. But if Bruno stays, he can still help the team. Without a doubt, Sebastian, he can definitely still help the team if he stays. And I think there's a strong possibility that he helps the team if he stays. I just think for me, Bruno moving on is about how much money we've got to spend. And equally, Bruno's got to be happy with the move. I know he's being offered ridiculous amounts of cash, but if he doesn't want to leave, I'm not going to hate him for it. I can't do that personally. Do I think Bruno will stay? My gut feeling's different to Mark's. I think he's going to go. My gut feeling is he'll leave. But I think he'll go personally. Just my personal opinion about this. Right. Let's start taking some of your calls on the show tonight, because I've got to change my screen over a little bit here to get this done. First up on the show, I'm bringing up with loads of people. KJ's joining me first on the show. Welcome, bro. Massive, huge news that has come out. Talk to me.
Terry. I've been saying this for a while. You've said it as well. P&P, bruv. We need more of that. And we're getting it. Bryan Mbeumo is a player that many Man United fans, towards like the middle of the season, during January, actually, when we were kind of linked to him then, were really jumping on the bandwagon and be like, actually, you know what? This is the kind of player that we need for this club. And I'm so glad that we are trying to sign this player and he's picked us, If we were like, it could easily been like, oh, Newcastle are in for him. We're not going to try as a club because we're not going to do it. I thought we wasn't going to do it. I thought, you know what, we're going to try and fail, but at least we tried, right? But these guys have, I don't know how they've sold it to him. I don't know what they've said to him, but he's clearly picked up on the vision of what we're trying to do. And that is what we need at this club. When the only good thing about being rock bottom is that now everyone can see what we are. The only reason why you're coming is to actually help and try and bring us back to the top. Because know that before we've had Champions League, we've had Europa League, we've had pseudo title challenges, we've had European races. And I've heard some players probably came here thinking, you know what? I've been Champions League or Europa League guaranteed for the most of my time here. They're giving out big wages. And what the players are saying, oh, if you don't like the manager, you can just sack it off and down tools and get the manager sacked and get a new guy. Yeah, cool, I'm coming. You can't do that now. We're not in that position to carry freeloaders and guys who are here who are just for a good time, not a long time. Guys who are not here willing to work. You got to come here to work. And that's what I love about this. And that's what I've said about Bryan Mbeumo. He's a player that will work. He will fight for his team. He's been there and seen their Brentford's best strikers and best players leave, and he's still fighting. He's been there since the championship, still fighting, and he's carried that team on his back multiple times with him and Wissa doing their best that they can for that club. And we need those kind of fighters. Matheus Cunha, a fighter. And Mbeumo, a fighter. And I'm so happy that that's the kind of players we're targeting. Because we could say, screw it, let's blow our load, pause, on Gyökeres. You know what I'm saying? Let's go give him 500k and just convince him to just come for the money. Let's go and get Osimhen, even though I still would love him, but he looks like he's going Saudi. Yo, Osimhen, his 500k a week, come and help save us. We could have easily done that, and we didn't. We're being smart, and I like that. And it's funny because early on today's show, you had like Wolfie and the guys and Tom and stuff there. We're talking about Cunha, and they obviously were saying Newcastle. And I put something in the comments saying, but why would these reports come out if it's almost guaranteed that Newcastle is signing? Or if it's almost guaranteed that Arsenal are signing? Why would the reporters come out and say Bryan Mbeumo doesn't care about Champions League and Man United, they're pushing hard if we had no chance? I'm not saying that we 100% was going to get him from the start. I'm not saying that. But people were saying we have no chance. But yet these reports are coming out.
No, I agree.
It didn't compute to me.
It just a lot of it, and I think we're all guilty of this when it comes to our rivals clubs. A lot of it with Man United is, I'm going to say what I hope is happening as opposed to what probably is happening. And a lot of people just want to write us off. They want to play us down. And in the cold, hard light of day, United haven't lost all of their appeal. We're still a massive, giant football club. And it was the way Ben Jacobs, who I keep saying to people, is not normally that nice about Manchester United, right? And I mean that in the nicest possible way. You remember when we were chasing Christian Eriksen, it was just like, no.
Yeah.
He just wouldn't even entertain it because he hadn't heard it. It was the way he was talking about this deal where I'm going, there's a really good chance here. There's a really good chance we're going to get him. It just felt like it. And I was very happy to see the news, but I wasn't sitting there going, well, that's out the blue.
Yeah, and then one thing, I tweeted this as well, but I'll say it on here so people can hear me say it. Many rivals are going to be confused. They're going to be like, why is he going there for? Oh, he's ruined his career. Oh, he doesn't know what he's doing. Someone's advised him badly. He's only going there for the money, which if we're broke, how can you do that? But anyway, that's a different point. Like, we're fans and we're tribal and we see things from a fan perspective. But what people don't probably want to think about, especially rivals, is being the team, being part of the team, being the player that gets Man United from where we are back to the top. Yeah. It's attractive. Bro, you will be legendary. You will be a bigger legend at this club doing that than taking Newcastle to the Premier League. If you're part of the team that takes Man United to the Premier League, you're a bigger legend. Your name will be sung way more. Your name will be immortalized in football better than if you did it for Newcastle. Not to try and crap on Newcastle, because if they win the Premier League, it would be amazing. And if you're part of that team, you're also a legend, right? But the size of our club, being a legend at Man United is like almost like nothing else. It's almost like nothing else. And players, if they are up for the fight, if they've got the confidence and if they believe in themselves and they're part of the right project at this club, they're gonna want to do it because they believe in themselves. They've got the fight to do it. And that's what we've been needing. And this is why I'm happy about this kind of signing. Because no player signing for this club now is here for the free money, bruv. It's impossible.
Well, there ain't none.
There's
There ain't
none,
no free money. There ain't no free money. No, mate, I totally agree with you, mate. Listen, KJ, we'll chat again soon. We're going to get some of the other boys on. Great words, my friend. Thank you. Cameron is on with us now. What are you saying, Cam?
What's good, man? I'll hold my hands up. I was wrong. I was one of the people who said he's going to Newcastle. You saw the group chat. I was like, I was straight up don't even want to entertain it. I was like, don't even bring it to me. He's going to Newcastle. I'm like, why wouldn't he go to Newcastle? It also felt like such a Newcastle signing, British. He's on the way up. They're on the, you know what I mean? But as a man, you hold your hand up when you're wrong. And I'm happy to be wrong in this situation. As I am in most situations, I'm more than happy to be wrong and admit it. I think when it comes to the importance to the team, this just signals a few things. One, we're not just buying players specific for Amarim's system. We're not just doing that because, I'm sorry, has Mbeumo ever played as a right wing back? Will he potentially do that in our system? Potentially. You could see him out there. He's probably going to be one of the 10s in my opinion, but then, we have 3-4 10s now, right? Which is great. And I think a big reason why, if you're some of these players to decide to come to us, is there's a runway of playing time too, right? Like Bryan Mbeumo looks at our team and goes, oh, so Ahmad's my competition. Great. He's a kid. He's awesome, but he's a kid. I should be able to keep my place ahead of, I don't do this. Listen, I love Ahmad. He just signed a contract. I'm like you. I don't do this. Oh my God, his route is blocked. I'm like, oh my God, we just signed a player, in my opinion, who is better than the player we all love right now and is saying is the player that's going to help take us forward. So if we're just saying in the 10 role, cool. We have Bryan Mbeumo and we have Cunha in the 10 role. You look at our team this year and you just by contract, just put those names in there. And all of a sudden you're like, oh, that's nice. That's a good, there's 20 more goals potentially. Because I'm not going to give him the 20 goals that he had at Brentford. It's not going to happen at United because now they're going to get shifted around. He's not the whole team at United. That's the point. And that's when a lot of people are like, oh, you get stifled. It's like, no, Cunha's not going to score 15 probably. And if they do, let's just say they do match their output. That's insane. I think this is further reason. Mbeumo. I can't say it with a French accent. I speak Spanish, so my French is gone. So
I think you might have called him a different nationality. I think you might have said he was British or something.
Oh no, I meant from our league. League.
I know exactly what you mean. I knew what you meant, but he's
Cameroonian. Yeah, I get it. Whatever. Yeah. No, he's from the Prem. He's a Premier League proven player. He's very that's what I mean. He's this profile is English right now. I get it. Okay. Also on top of this now, don't sell Bruno. I think when we were talking about selling Bruno, and we're talking about getting ahead of his decline, that's the only reason I would sell him, by the way, is getting the money ahead of his decline. Well, now when you're bringing in really good players, you don't sell your best player, in my opinion. You see what happens when he's surrounded by other really good players. That is key to me. If we're going to keep making these signings, then we shouldn't even be bothering with selling Bruno, because I get people saying, oh, he's not an 8. He can't play in the midfield. Well, he did do that quite a bit for us this year. The whole, he loses the ball a bunch. He was fine as an 8. I didn't see a big issue with it. I think you can go get another one.
Yeah.
Here. So this whole oh, now we have Bruno replacements. Go get rid of Bruno. It's why? Why get rid of your best player when you are getting great players around him who he's going to be able to feed? The connection, it's going to be, when I think about the creativity from those 3 players, I watched a lot of Brentford. You knew I was a huge Thomas Frank stan. I wanted him as our United, as our manager at one point. I think of the creativity between those 3 players, and all of a sudden it's they all score goals from the 10 and they all create a shit ton. All we're missing now is a striker. We need to go get more than one, but we need a striker so badly to finish this puzzle, the attacking puzzle. It's just, and another thing that I know you talk about a lot, but people keep forgetting. They're like, well, there goes the money. There goes the money. We said we had 100 million to spend. And you can correct me on this if I'm wrong. If my opinion is, if you say you have 100 million to spend, you're factoring in the debt that you already had to pay for players in that year.
Yes, you are. Yes.
Yeah, I just assume you're not just oh, we have 100 million to spend, but we're 300 million in debt on players. No, you factor in the debt you already have, right? Okay, so Cunha, the deal is structured in 3 installments, 2 payments, meaning probably 35 million up front, the first cost, and then Bryan Mbeumo is going to be structured across multiple. So if you do the math, we actually still have more money to spend before we have to sell, but we also know we are selling.
This is very, very true. Plus, it's the one question that never gets asked, and I wish I had the access. I would just ask if I got to do Gary Neville's interview with Sir Jim. My first thing would be, when they say you've got 100 million to spend, is that 100 million in totality, or is that 100 million with amortization? So, for instance, do you mean you can spend 100 million pound on players and spread it, or is the most you can spend 100 million? Because Mbeumo is going to be 10 million pound year one. That will get spread over 5 years.
Yep.
So that's 10 million pound. Is that 10 million pound out of the 100 million, or do you take the 50 million from the 100 million? That would help fans understand the finances
that's
a little bit better. Yeah.
But I think that is the case, because otherwise we would have zero money always, right? Like if you actually think about it, we would literally, and I'm not saying it's all, like there's probably a percentage. I could be wrong. Like you're saying, we don't have the actual answer, but just logically thinking, if it was every year United have 100 million to spend and that's it, we wouldn't sign as many players as we've signed over the years. It would be impossible. If you actually go back and look at like the spends we've had over the years, the only time that we had done that was when we spent 80 million on Harry Maguire up front. The only time when we blew the budget, it was Aaron Wan-Bissaka and Harry Maguire that summer.
Yeah.
And we didn't see players properly come in for a bit. And we still were buying players, but it was, we have to wait till summer. We can't buy in January. We have to do loans. And that's because we blew the budget. So either way, happy about the signing if it goes well from this point on. But I was waiting for this part. I was waiting for an Ornstein or Fabrizio. I'm tired of, there's too many. It's so early. It's June 2nd, by the way, people. June 2nd. And United will have made two extremely big signings.
Yeah. And this is the thing for me, which I'm so, 1 second, I'm just messaging Staffy. Yeah. Like I bet be buzzing. It's so early in the window. They're the right age, they're the right physicality, etc., etc., etc. So, yeah, I love it. Listen, Cam, always a pleasure.
One more thing. I don't want to sound like, obviously, if he slaps at Chelsea, great. I'm good for him. Delap turning us down, sometimes it's not a bad thing when players choose to go other places, because it kicks you in the ass. And Delap was an easy signing for us. It was a cheap one. I think that's why we were always going to do it. It was a low risk signing. I don't believe if we were in the UCL cemented that he would have been number one on our docket. And I prefer a player like Bryan Mbeumo over him. So I'm guessing that him turning us down, because you saw that's when it really came out, was we heard Delap's not coming, and it was almost instantaneous.
Well, and that's also why when I saw Rivals just disregarding us, I still said I saw Newcastle as favourites, but it was Newcastle will get him. It was the way that news came out. United are now putting their eggs into that basket because there was this 100 million to spend before we sold anybody. And I think what's helping us is that the Utd situation is stalling. So there isn't the need to press on with that, even though it's maybe the most important position, because that deal doesn't look like it's going to be announced anytime soon. It doesn't feel that way. So the club can go, right, let's get this done. We can resolve the Bruno thing. We'll work towards selling these other players and then move on. The great news is this one should go through quite quickly from now, touching wood. Hopefully what we have is 2 players ready, minimum, for the start of pre-season, if not a few more. Because the one thing, again, we haven't done very often for any manager at this club in 12 years is have the majority of his new players for pre-season.
Nope.
So to have that is massive. Cam, always a pleasure, mate. Chat to you again soon, brother. Mate. Thank you, mate. Baz is on the show with us now. What are you saying, Baz?
Hey, man. Yeah, really excited. Finally, we are doing some business, man. I don't think I've seen United act like this in like well over a decade, obviously, right? The big thing for me is that we're finally targeting good people and good football players together. I think that's essential. Like, the same, like, the whole Sancho thing, a lot of people that we used to go for were kind of like what I'd call the woman in the red dress, that sort of thing. That's like, yeah, it's the obvious choice, but it's not the right choice. If you really look deep into it, it's distracting you from what you're supposed to do to build a team properly. And there's obviously a plan here, right? And the one thing I want to say about Bruno is that I agree with Cam. Basically, if we can show Bruno that we have these players coming in and we can get a few more, someone in the midfield, another goalkeeper and a striker, now we have a team that can have a different aura about it, a team that's going to be in Emram's image. And, you know, keeping also someone like Harry Maguire for another year, just someone who's shown, like Harry Maguire probably would have, like, I've never seen that in sports in general. A guy lose the captaincy and then come and play and show character. And, you know, these are the sort of people we need. Lenny Yoro, like, I don't think I've seen an 18 or 19-year-old with that type of maturity in a long time at United. So these are the type of people we need. And I mean, if Bruno was going to leave, I think he would have been on the plane already. Most players would be gone if they're offered this much money. I mean, it's obviously his family doesn't want to do it. He doesn't want to. I mean, a part of him wants to stay and prove something at United. He doesn't want to be someone, and I'm not putting him down, like Norman Whiteside, who was a great player in a mediocre time. He wants to be remembered as a great player in a team that did something, that didn't just win an FA Cup. So for me, that's really important. And I'm open to Bruno staying if we can still get in all these deals. And because he's the captain.
Yeah. If there's money to spend, then and we improve as a team, then absolutely. It's for me, it's just that balance of what more can we do. But look, Garnacho will definitely go now because of the two players we've signed. He's gone. Rashford, Sancho, Anthony will all go. But then these things help. If there really is a possibility of a year-long loan, then a 40, 50 million pound deal for, I mean, we're all very excited about Mbeumo. Rasmus Højlund might be going for 40 to 50 million pound. Now, listen, I'm not trying to overgas things here. I'm having a bit of a laugh when I say this. I'm sorry that I have to say that in 2025 for the Toaster people. But I think that deserves an award. I think, like, you know, like they have the Nobel Peace Prize, the Nobel this, the Nobel that. There's got to be a Nobel Prize for maybe getting 40 to 50 million pound for Rasmus Højlund. Love or hate Man United, love or hate the Glazers, love or hate Ineos. You can't not look at that and go, fuck me. That would be maybe that's like selling water to a drowning man.
Yeah. I mean, look, they're capable of doing deals. Like Lenny Yoro, everyone said we shouldn't have never got him. He chose us over Real Madrid. You know, so I mean, obviously this regime has shown that they can get deals done, and they've proven it now twice this season. And you know, they got to keep going. I'm very happy with this, but I'm not gonna say we're done. Obviously, none of us believe that. I know that. We got to keep going. We got to keep the same vigor, the same energy. And every time we look at a player, it's got to be the right player that fits the system. And are they a good person? Do they work hard? Do they, you know, like Liverpool built the team based off of getting family men in, right? They got Alisson, Salah, like, you know, all these guys. These are good people that, you know, aren't at the bars all the time. They're not, you know, everybody, all professional players are going to have an ego.
I agree. I agree with that. And I think the age profile is brilliant. Baz, listen, mate, always a pleasure to talk to you, brother. Sure, and we'll chat again soon. We've got the United Tribe, Ian, Abel. We've got Staffy coming on in a little bit. Staffy's backstage. We'll be bringing him on soon. Ian's coming on next to speak to us. Thank you, Baz. Ian, what you saying, bro?
Big up it, Till. I am absolutely gassed, Till. Starting off. Just let me say something on the last point, on the last guys that we were saying. When it comes to Bruno, he's not staying. And I'll tell you, I don't think he is, because one, now, not only have we replaced him, but we've upgraded. And he can't play in that middle two, Till. I don't think he can. He just doesn't have the movement and the game now. And what Amorim wants in those two is pure power and game management. And I love him. I love Bruno so much, mate. But he just don't have that. Not in this team the way we're going to try to move. It will slow us down, not move us forward. Where the money, even if we've got this things done. Sorry, go on, mate. Go on.
No, I just said fair. No, keep going, mate. Keep going.
Yeah, no, if we got these deals done and we've still got a bit more money, or we haven't even gone into the Bruno money yet, then just seize that opportunity and keep going. Don't stop now. We've taken the first 2 big steps. Day 2 in a window, and Man United are on 2 players. Never heard of it. We didn't do this with Sir Alex and David Gill. This is a madness, Till. What you were just saying about if we sell Rasmus for 50 million, he's got a genie in a bottle. Don't lie to us about you ain't got no money, Jim. You've got a genie. Because if you pull that off, mate, I'll get a tattoo. I'll get Jim Radcliffe tattooed on my shoulder if he pulls that off, Till. Click me. 50 M's for that. I'll drive him there. Anyway, we'll quickly move on. Mbeumo, absolutely, Till, this is just going to move us on. P&P. You and KJ have been singing it. Since I heard you say it, I've not stopped singing it. It's the main thing. And this guy brings all of it. And where are all those, just let me do this quick, Till. Where are all those people saying we can't sign anybody because we're not in the Champions League? Wear that. Just wear it on your head like a little hat and go and stand in the corner because your opinion matters. It's much, mate. None. Zitch. What opinion? Sorry, what? Irrelevant. Your opinion is nothing. We're moving a madness. A madness. And I've got one more madness for you.
Go on.
8 hours, Bruno will be gone. Next thing, after Mbeumo's all done, dusted, clean, this is the headline. Do you remember how much our club loves a bit of PR, Till? Loves it.
Yeah, loves it.
We are this. Oh, we'll have a bit of PR all day long, right? Remember Pogback? Oh, we milked the shit out of that, didn't we? Fucking music videos and the whole lot.
Yeah.
Picture this. Hammering, arm round Jokeres. Ready? Reunited. Mic drop. End of. End of.
Listen, you're getting me excited, Ian. You're getting me excited.
We don't move like this and just stop. If he stops now, he might as well go and hang himself, Tell, because he's done out there. The Glazers, no PR, no nothing comes back from that. No, look at Kobe signing, no signing. We all know he's signing. If he pulls off his madness,
go on.
It's done.
Ian, mate, absolutely love the passion, love the energy. And part of me still wants Bruno to be here, but if he goes, we get the money, we move on. But what you said there about Jokeres reunited, the tagline, listen, I'm here for it. I'm here for it. I'm here for it. I love it. I love it. Ian, lovely, mate. We'll speak again soon, Ian. Thank you. The United Tribe is on with us next. Top man, thank you. What are you saying, bro?
Reunited and it feels so good. That's for Ian and the Reunited gang. I love that. I love that. Hey, yo, I'm here. Once again, good evening, Terry. I'm here just to give you that premium gas in Mbeumo, a Ballon d'Or winner next season. I'm just here for that. But, in all fairness, the thing that I'm really excited about Mbeumo for is because if you notice when we lost Ahmad from the 10 role, we lost someone that can really press. If you remember, there were certain games where he actually got goals from that front pressing the defender and getting us over the line. And to have someone like Mbeumo who runs and runs and runs and runs, we need someone like that in that front line behind the striker to press the way Amram wants to press. So that is the thing that I am most excited about, is to see my team be able to do a press effectively, but also to have someone in the team that I know has that particular threat in terms of running in behind. The reason why Garnacho was used so much is because he has that particular ability to run in behind with that particular pace, which scares defenders. But the only problem with him is his finishing was not of a high degree. In fairness to him, he is still young, so I really don't want to put that on him. However, that did hurt us on a few occasions. So to have someone that has scored 20 goals in the season, that has 9 assists, that is able to run in behind and really be that threat, it's something that really excites me. But more and above that, bring in Cunha and Mbeumo so early into the window. I agree with Ian. Bruno is gone. People just need to settle their hearts and get it done. That probably will be announced later on in the week, if not next week, Monday. I'm very happy that we are doing business in the meantime to make sure that we are bringing players in before the whole world knows we have a whole big bag. But more importantly, to have those two signings in so early in the window, knowing that they will be on pre-season tour, but also be able to say to the rest of the guys that, listen, Gokaris, you want to go over to Arsenal, you want to do all these particular things. However, look what we just did right now. If you come right now, you have these two guys behind you. And that's not just for him, but that's for the central midfield as well.
And I think what you said there, I was talking about this on the United stand earlier this evening. For me, the most important part of this is how you show it to you show that to your career. You show it to, I'm going to make some names up of players we might get, Edison, Baliba, Wharton. You say, look who's already joined. That tells you something at the end of the day. When you, at the end of the day, you might be thinking about buying a new phone. You might be thinking about going to watch a film. If all you see is people talking about it, or all you see is people walking down a phone with it, down the street with a phone, or bags from that certain shop, you go and check it out. So look, I think it's a really important bit. Listen, bro, thanks for coming on, having your say. I appreciate it, brother.
It's a pleasure.
Soon.
Much love.
Adel, by the way, Staffy, go check out your WhatsApp for a second. Adel is on with us now. What you want to say, brother?
Hello, how are you? Hi, everyone.
Great. Hello, mate. What do you want to say, brother?
I just want to say I am fucking hyped for the Mbeumo, however you guys want to say it, for this transfer. We've waited so long for a transfer like this to happen, right? And you wanted to ask while you were streaming on the United stand, how many of us are smiling? I was fucking grinning, man, right? Also, just one more thing. Bruno Fernandes, if we let him stay for the next season, right? How many years is he going to be giving us at this level, right? He's 31 this year, next year, right? He's going to give us max tops 3 more years. He's not going to be able to do it for much more, right? So, yeah.
Listen, I hear you on that. And that's why we've also got to be really careful with this. And I think that as much as we're one thought I had about Bruno was this, Adel. Yes, we're publicly, and the manager's publicly saying we want to keep him, we want to keep him, we want to keep him. However, I think what's really important to remember is I don't think we're dealing with stupid people running the club anymore. So from my perspective, I look at it through the lens of, if the club knows it can find adequate replacements and we can sign them, I think they'll be really up for letting him go, because in 2 to 3 years' time, you're not getting £100+ million for this player. And if we reinvest it well, again, everyone said the Champions League won't make us better, but the money could speed up the process. Well, so could this as well, mate. It really could. Brother, thank you for tuning in. I really appreciate your support. Speak to you again soon, my man. Thank you. Thank you. Staffy is joining me now. Bro! Hey! What's going on?
This is not to you. This is all the people that waste my time every time I'm on this platform or any other platform saying, oh, but you know, to have no pull. You're sitting in 15th. What makes you think you can get Mbeumo? What makes you think you could get Mateta? What makes you think you could get Cunha? Chat, I'm going to need everyone to do me a favor right now. I want you to go to your closest rival and respectfully tell them to suck it. Respectfully, of course. Because I don't want to hear that no more. I called Lawless first thing, by the way. I'll see you on Straight Facts on Friday, Lawless. Where I'm like, hey, what happened to our poll? What happened to you telling me I can't do this, I can't do that? Guys, just give it a rest already. United can do things in windows that honestly, certain clubs have to be contending for a title to pull off some of these signings. Because I'm sitting here after sitting 15th all season. And guess what? In the first 2 days, I got Cunha already in official, and then I got the Ornstein Bamba for Mbeumo. And I'm not going to hear anyone downplaying Mbeumo. I'm not going to hear anyone doing any of that. This guy is one of 5 players that scored over 20 Premier League goals this season. 20. It was only 3 between him and an Isak. Isak, everyone thinks of Isak as 100+, 150, all that. We have a player that scored 20 league goals, 3 shy of second best in Isak. Obviously, no one was touching Salah with 29. That is how good this player is. And I'm not going to lie, I know Terry dipped, but I'm going to tell you guys this. This is a dream scenario to start the window for me. I did not think we were going to start this window like this. If you would have asked me what's the best way you think United can start the window, I would have told you that. I would have been like, you know what? Cunha and Mbeumo. And on my platform, so many times I spoke about Mbeumo. I spoke about Mbeumo before I spoke about a 9 because of his versatility, playing on the right, playing in the 9, the amount of goals that he can score. We went and got someone on the left who's more of a driver, someone who carries the ball, someone who's good one-on-one with the defenders, someone who doesn't necessarily have the most GA, but he helps in the final third when it comes to that. And on the other side, we got someone who's direct, someone who has, as I said, 20 goals this season, 20 plus GNA in the league. I mean, I'm not gonna lie, Terry, I don't know if you knew this. The last time United had a player in their team that scored 20 goals or more in the league was Van Persie when we won the league. Wow. We haven't had anyone that scored more than 20 goals for us since. Now, obviously, he didn't score it for us in Mbeumo, but that is the type of player we're going for right now.
It shows you how hard it is to do that and how you need the quality of players. I sorry, I have to just hear my dog was going mental.
No, you're good, you're good.
That's why I went out that way and came back in this way to run around the house.
I thought your daughter or your son or something. I was like, you know,
no,
it's family
my dog, the furry baby, was doing his nut outside. But no, listen, I'm very happy with it. And look, there is a little bit of an up yours to the people that just, as I say, like we had this big fight with Lawless. I had it, argument earlier on with Wolfie and the guys. But there's just this constant disregard that United can't sign anybody. Now, I hear it. This is on paper, all of this. We've got to make it work in reality. Lots more signings are needed. We've got a long way to go. And I love reading the group chat. I was live on the United stand. I was reading the group chat. And what I absolutely loved was the amount of people who have gone from you've got no Paul and you're finished to so much pressure on Ruben next year because but that reaction means you've just signed some really good players and we've only just started. I think the one element above everything else, profile's great, athleticism, we've signed 2. And what I know you'll like about this is I think me and you are both getting what we love. We're getting the athleticism, the work rate, but we're also getting the technical ability that we need as well to raise that floor. The age profile was correct, but the thing that stands out above everything for me is the speed. We don't get deals done or even this close so early in the summers. We are often waiting until August to be signed good players. It gets boring. We get tired with the news. It gets frustrating. So yeah, look, I'm very happy with this. Feet still very firmly on the ground in terms of how long it's going to take to fix us. But what a great, I think for United fans,
there's a lot more to do. Yeah,
great start.
Yeah, it's a great start, but there's still a lot more to do. And I don't know what happened before I joined the background, but did Canadian Cam come out and speak about Bruno?
He said, Bruno, don't sell Bruno, he said, don't sell Bruno.
Whatever Canadian Cam says, do the opposite. All right? Please. I knew he was going to do it. I just didn't know he came on here and said that, so I missed that part. If anything, this is a bigger indication to please sell Bruno. I'm literally doing a video tonight, and I'm going to name it Bruno, Please Leave. And this is no disrespect. This is no malice. This is not, listen, we've had our battles over the years, Terry. You like Bruno. I'm not a big fan of him. I gave him his flowers when he deserved it more than others. So you know, at least when I speak about Bruno, it's not really agenda because I've given him flowers when some other people didn't. The thing is right now, I'm almost more certain now than ever that we are going with a completely different image to this team. I don't see anywhere where Bruno even fits what we're trying to do right now. Not to mention that we are being offered over 100 million. I'm gonna look at the camera when I say this. 100 million, I think it's pounds. 100 million pounds for you to go to live in Saudi. Please, Bruno, I am asking you respectfully to care for this club and to care for this team and to care for this rebuild. There is so much we can do in this team if we sell him for 100 million. And you know what? I'm gonna make this prediction, Terry. If we get Bruno out before Friday, because I think that's when El Hilal needs their final word, because they have a Club World Cup in like 2 weeks, by the way, for people who don't know. Yeah. So that's how urgent this is. I think if Bruno, by Friday, we get confirmation he's leaving, I think we get Gyökeres. And you can quote me on that. I think we are 100% going for Gyökeres, and we're giving him closer to Bruno's salary if we get rid of Bruno this week. And if we do that, you have a front line now of Cunha and Mbeumo, and all you're missing is a striker. And you get that 100 million, Bruno, please.
Do you know what's really interesting about a strike force like that? On paper, we've got to see it in reality, but on paper, that goes into conversations. And do you know why it does? Because each and every single one of those players has been praised, hyped, lauded over, fawned over by all of our rivals for at least 2 to 3 years. To have all three in one place at the club, you can't fault that recruitment. You've got to make it work. We've got to make it work, and we'll all keep our feet on the ground. But listen, I'll be with a front line like that. What Man United fan isn't buzzing about the start of the season? Looking forward to that first game to see how it all fits in. So, listen, man, Staffy, always a pleasure, brother, to sit and speak to you.
I'll see everyone on Friday.
We've got Wolfie on next, who said an hour ago he was going Newcastle. So, Wolfie's joining us now to have you say, top man, thank you. Wolfie, mate, I mean, the timing of that, we ended the top 6 show and then bang, the bomb dropped that he's picked Manchester United. Thoughts on this deal for me? You know, I know you're a rival, you're a Nottingham Forest fan, but thoughts on this deal for Manchester United?
It's a great signing. I can't hide it or glaze over it, man. But let's use the key word, signing. He hasn't signed yet, so still a lot of hurdles to jump over. I'm hearing quotes of 50, 60 million for him. Is that about right? Is that what the quotes are saying?
Yeah, I mean, they've said 50 million all along. I think the one hope I have is that if he has said what's sort of being alluded to, I'd love to ask these journalists a bit more. If he's told the other clubs, I just don't want to join you, I want Man United, then I reckon it'll be 50 million. If he says I'm open to the other clubs still, then it might be a bidding war. So I think it'll be between 50 and 60. I don't think it'll be any higher than that.
Yeah, I think he would be silly to shut out all the other clubs just from a position of power when it comes to, you know, negotiating salaries and what have you. But let's assume that's the case. Someone in Manchester United is a hell of a salesman right now. To get Cunha and to get Mbeumo in with no European football, we're finishing 15th in the league. Someone is selling them one hell of a promise. I don't know who that person is, but they seem to be doing quite well right now. So to get those two in, and I think your bigger news today, Terry, was Rasmus going to Inter.
No,
I think that's a better signing, to be honest.
I agree. I mean, that's I was saying earlier that there must be some kind of Nobel, not peace prize, but some there must be a prize of its equivalent in business to the person that does that deal. I'll tell you. But listen, look, I think that sales is one thing. I think it's because, like I said, I honestly, and I know that some United fans will talk about this online, and maybe they do it in a way that puts rivals' backs up. But man, there is something about Man United, and I always go back to what Graham Souness said. He said it on Sky maybe 6 years ago, where he said that even in his pomp, when United were dog awful, they were still the most famous club, still made the most headlines. Loads of players still wanted to join them. They could still take players from all other clubs, barring their closest rivals. They were still the most famous club in England, and what they did, even if they were 7th, got more headlines than the teams that were winning league titles. And that always resonated with me because I wasn't alive then to witness it or remember it. But hearing a Liverpool legend say that always stood out to me. So as much as I think fans, and I get why rivals look at United or where I've always wanted them to be right down there, I still think professionally, you know, in the footballing world for actual football professionals, there is something about it. And I think that they've sold in the idea that this project's going to work. It is new people. It is a new manager. It is a new system. And they've gone for it. I hope it works, not because I want to be right or not because of any other reason than I want my club to get back to the level that, you know, we've seen them before. But feet are firmly on the ground, mate. It's a long way for us to go. The squad's still a shambles overall. But I do think 2 days of the window being open, Cunha over the line, Mbeumo 60, 70% of the way there. Fantastic start from us, considering the backdrop of last season. So, yeah, I'm a very happy man.
Yeah, you definitely on that. I mean, I think an interesting question would be if, say, a Liverpool or an Arsenal had finished 15th this season, didn't get Europe, could they still pull these kind of players in? Would they still have that same kind of United aura to pull it in?
They don't. Neither club has Man United's aura. If we're all at our optimum best, Man United are the biggest of those. And this is where I always say to people, there's a difference between best team in today's contemporary, like the league. There's the most successful in terms of who has the most trophies. And then there's who the biggest is. And I stand by this argument. Man United are still the biggest team in England, even though we've had 12 years of utter madness. we are still massive. And even though our pool has shrunk, I do believe it's shrunk. I believe our aura has shrunk. I don't believe our size has shrunk per se. Others are getting closer to be able to still sign 2 of the best attackers in the league this season after 12 years of madness and coming 15th. That for me is the demo. And look, we're paying them good wages. We're paying them the going rate, though, for players that are scoring the amount of goals they are in the hardest league in the world. We're not paying them 500 grand a week, though. We're not doing what we did stupidly with Alexis Sanchez or with Di Maria. It just shows the size of Manchester United. The issue for me now, though, is I don't want to stop there. We need to make our performances on the pitch echo our size. And I'm very aware of that. So this is a nice little bit of fun. Great, we've got a player. But for me now, the most important thing is making it count on the pitch.
Yeah, I think what you don't want to see is the United fan base forgetting what happened, giving themselves goldfish memory about how bad your season was.
Correct.
And when you look at the squad you had, it wasn't the worst. It wasn't a 15th in the league squad with some of the players you had in there. I hope it doesn't work out for you guys. I hope to see you down at the bottom again. I'm not going to glaze over this. I hope both of them fail. I think Cunha is still going to be the one. I just wonder what you do with Ahmed. Does he now go to a right wing back position? Where does he fit into the equation? Do you put Mbeumo up front maybe and Ahmed in the 10?
I think there'll be a mixture of that. I think there'll be a mixture, and that's what I like. So I'm not someone that I believe you need some players in your squad that are a specialist. So Ugarte is a specialist at breaking up players, an example. You'll have centre backs that are specialists at certain things. Goalkeepers are all specialists. But I think you need certain players that are versatile. And I like the fact that we can rotate. One problem that United have had, even when we've had decent teams in the last 10 years, if we lose a player, we lose Bruno, no one else. Or if we lost Zlatan, no one else. We need to get to a point where we go, well, we've got a player like this season. We've got a couple of injuries to Ahmad and co. And we were stressed. So for me, I don't mind. There'll be some games where Ahmad will be right wing back. There'll be sometimes where he plays in that 10. I think in Mbeumo, same thing. Sometimes I think he'll play 10. Sometimes I think he'll play in a type of 9 role as an example. I think there'll be a really good mixture. And there's that element of, we spoke about Chelsea earlier on the Top 6 show, that almost element of battle of the fittest here. Well, Ahmad, if you really believe you could become one of the best players in the world, prove it now. We've bought 2 of the best players in the Prem. Show you're better. Because again, if next season Mbeumo is on the bench all season because Ahmad outplays him, I won't care because that means we're doing something right. Does that make sense? So I'm not really that fussed. I've never have been. What is this?
I don't tell me you got Gyökeres now as well.
Oh, so no, not quite. 50%. It's come from the Portuguese record. It says Utd Gyökeres has already defined the future. The Swedish striker has decided to return to England. That's all it said. I was like, where's it going to go? I mean, if Gyökeres comes again, listen, I'm not going to get overly carried away, but with a strike, listen.
Yeah, you are, Terry, man.
No, but you know what? The thing is, there's no way we're winning the league or anything next year. I'd never say that. But I said most of this campaign, goals have been our biggest issue. And if you suddenly bring in players who, between them, scored 70 goals last season, if we can create the opportunities for them and they can be as clinical for us as they were for Wolves, Sporting, and Brentford, respectively, let's just take 20 of those goals off. Say they score 50 extra league goals for Man United. That gives us 80-odd goals. Typically, teams that score around 80 goals are in and around Champions League positions or above. So, just if you actually go through every Premier League season, if you can score that amount of goals, you're somewhere. And we had the chances, we had the openings and opportunities. We just lack the players to finish it off or create. But look, we haven't even got. There's been no talk of Gyökeres being that close. We'll see if it happens. We'll have those conversations. But yeah.
But what's interesting about this for me, mate, is that this will put some pressure on Amorim now. If these players are coming in who are Prem proven, the kind of leniency, especially at the start of the next season, he's going to need to get this kind of them hitting the ground running quite quickly. Okay, there will be a bedding in period, but you're going to want to at least see that it's starting to click, that there's signs of life within it. So, he's getting the players that fit his system, and it's important that these players work, because if he goes and someone has to come in who doesn't work in that system, what you have added is adaptability. So there's been this whole conversation about, well, if Amorim goes and we switch to a back 4 and what have you, what happens to United? Well, you got Cunha And Mbeumo, he can play out wide on the right. He can play in a 4-3-3. Same with Cunha. So there is a bit more adaptability to that whole discussion that we've been having for the last 6 months.
And you'll see this next season with Ruben. There is a lot of adapting in games. In terms of he won't change from a back three, but it's interesting because when I was watching PSG play the other night, when they actually had the ball and they attacked, go and look with the way one of their defenders drops back, it's basically a back three when they're attacking and they change outside of it. I don't worry too much about what the graphic looks like. I think you'll see, as you say, there'll be options to go, well, we'll bring on a player now that will want to drift and we'll invert the fullback. This player's going to come in, Cunha will play, we'll go central, we're going to use an overlapping fullback. It's still not going to be perfect because I still think 80% of the squad's got to change in the next 2 to 3 years. But what I'm hoping we see next season is a better blueprint where we say, do you know what? You had a better left wing back. You had a better ball playing centre back. You had another central midfielder to this team. And I really can see what they're doing. I hope we move more into that line. A few people saying my comments about the goals is crazy. Look, we scored 44 goals this season, which is absolutely abysmal. To put that into context, we scored, I think, 38 in the Europa League in a third of the games. So, yeah, if Bruno leaves, you might take 10 goals off, 30 odd goals. All I have stated, if we bring in the Cunhas, the Mbeumos, and the Gyökereses, and they perform somewhere close in terms of goals to what they've done at their previous clubs, United could jump from a team scoring 44 goals to a team scoring anywhere between 70 and 85 goals next season if those guys deliver. Teams that score that amount of goals.
I think what they're saying is it's high, mate, because that would only put you behind Liverpool this season if you were to get 80 goals.
Yeah, well, you've got to minus some off, right? But I'm just putting that out. But that's how many goals have just gone and bought. At the end of the day, you've got to make it work in the system, and I've stated that. But we're buying the players that we know can do it, and two of them have done it in this league, and that's what.
But are they ready? Are they ready for the United pressure? Because if we're being honest, the players are good. They've been brilliant for Wolves and Brentford, but stepping it up, it's a bit like, I think a good example to a lesser extent is a Solanke, who for me still looked better in a Bournemouth team than he did this season under Spurs. Now you could say that's an Ange issue or a formation issue or what have you, but there is always that question mark. Even though they're Prem proven, can they make the step into one of those cartel 6 teams?
Mate, it's a really good point. And that's why a lot of what I'm saying is, even with the goal comment I'm making, I'm just talking on paper. I'm very, very aware that we've got to see how it looks in reality. We've got to still see who else we sign. But, if we keep... I think I've always felt we're going to sign between 5 and 7 players this summer. If they're all of Cunha, Mbeumo level across positions, there's a really good chance we improve massively next year. The only stumbling point, I have faith in the manager. The only stumbling point will be handling that pressure. The one thing I like is the age profile and the fact a lot of these players have done it in the league. Yeah. Most of our marquee signings and big money signings in the last 12 years have all been from outside the Premier League. Maguire was a big one from the Prem. AWB was a big one. Alexis Sanchez didn't even want to join us, but it wasn't even spending anything on him. That was a stupid deal. We didn't really want to join us. Outside of that, we haven't done many.
Van Persie's probably your last.
Van Persie, we did, and even like Fellaini was a Premier League signing. Fellaini came in and did what Fellaini does. The problem with that deal is we should have got him for around 25 million, but we missed a buyout clause and then spent almost double that on him. So it was like stupid business. But I don't know how many players we've signed in the last 12 years. Let's just say we've signed 80. I would be surprised if more than 20% were from the Premier League, and how many were genuinely top-level Premier League players that were attainable. I'm not saying City's players or Liverpool's players, very few. And I think that was something that we were famed for in the 90s and the noughties. We would often go out and buy, even sort of fringe sort of players like Henningberg, really good at Blackburn. Boom, let's go and buy him. And we need to do more of that. So look, my feet very firmly on the ground, very happy with the deal.
One thing to add, Terry, sorry, just to bring you guys back down to earth as well. You will need cover for him because it's an AFCON year next season, so don't forget that.
True, I was about to say, well, that's where Ahmad comes in, but he will probably he'll probably be there as well. Yeah, he'll probably be there.
You may need a few more than you think.
Do you know what? We'll cross that bridge when we get to it. Do you know what I mean? Listen, Wolfie, absolute pleasure to speak to you, mate.
Anytime, mate.
And we'll chat again soon. Top man, thank you, brother. All the best. We have a few super chats here before the end of the stream. I didn't forget these. We just were taking your calls. This here says, I think Bruno is toxic. PSG got rid of Mbappe and won the Champions League, went to Madrid, got nothing. Same can happen to us. I don't think Bruno's toxic. I've seen no evidence he's toxic. But I do hope if he does leave, we go on to win everything. Why would I not? I love Man United. I don't understand the power. Don't estimate the power of being the one or part of the ones. That brings this fallen giant back to the top. It is confirmed from any camp. Well, it's been confirmed by some very, very, very credible journalists, and all of them. He's come. Listen, I'm going to say it. Unless he fails the medical, it's good. Man United already know the asking price as well, and I know Wolfie said he hopes that Mbeumo keeps the other players, the other clubs, on tenterhooks. But what's been reported is he's told them he ain't joining them. It's Man United, which means we're the only ones in the race. We know the price is 50 million. I think we're going to get him, if I'm being honest with you. I want more, is what Robinson says here. Joshua Jack, who says this does a couple of things. One, him and Cunha combined for 35 goals last season. That's a massive upgrade for us because that's our weakness. But most importantly, other teams around us in the league weakens. This is very true. It weakens Brentford. It weakens Wolves. And these are teams, and these two players have fucking hurt us loads. So no, I do agree. That's also why Fergie used to take these players. We can get them. We make them weaker, make us stronger. Very clever. What's the number for your calling? It was the link, my bro, that we shared in the live chat. We shared the link on Super Chat. To my Super. Yeah, I get what you meant, Joshua Jack. Only Paul United have is paying high wages. Oh, that old chestnut. Do you think Delap is punching the air right now? No, I don't necessarily think that. If in 2 years, 3 years' time, Chelsea haven't won anything, they're not in the Champions League, and Man United are killing it, he might. But that's the nature of the beast, you know. He's going to be very happy at Chelsea. I think he's going to have a good Chelsea career. I really like Liam Delap. I haven't changed my mind about that. But I'm happy this evening. Look, I want to thank you all that have tuned in. You absolute legends. I weren't expecting. I went live at 6. Between the top 6 show, the United Stand, and back here, that's 4 hours of straight streaming. Staying power, bruv. That's because of these bad boys. Magic Mind. If I wasn't taking Magic Mind, I'm going to get through this. I'm telling you now, but I'm about to finish the show. Get myself off the bed because I've got another early start tomorrow because I have children. But I want to thank you all for tuning in. Thank everyone who subscribed. We had an amazing day today. 650 brand new subscribers to the Football Terrace. You're just out of this world. So thank you to everybody that has subscribed. Until next time, everybody, take care. Goodbye. God bless. And we'll see you all again soon. Peace.